Healing Minds and Souls, a faith-based community dedicated to bringing trauma-informed care to the North Nashville community and surrounding areas through education, resources, and building relationships to develop healthy and a holistic community. Pastor Ella Clay will be talking about how we can stop allowing fear to overtake us regardless of our past, present, or future. Come and learn how to recognize signs and symptoms of trauma as we understand the emotional, physical, social, and spiritual impact of traumas. We will unpack the meanings of vicarious traumas and how to avoid moral injury as we actively avoid re-traumatizing ourselves and others. Let's learn together how to navigate life challenges of grief, trauma, pain, and/or isolation, and discover our innate strengths of courage, kindness, trust, perseverance, and become better equipped to experience a newfound confidence by not letting circumstances define our current existence or future selves. Join our show today with Pastor Ella Clay. She serves as senior pastor of the historic First Community Church and executive director of Healing Minds and Souls, 1815, Knoll Street, Nashville, Tennessee, 37208.
Good morning. Welcome to Healing Minds and Souls. We praise God for another day, another brand new year, the year of 2025. And we're grateful for all that God has for us on this beautiful year. According to Psalm 65:11, it states, at the crown of the year, at the beginning of a new year, God will crown us. He will give us fatness, and our carts will overflow with abundance. We are grateful for the abundant God who's always doing great and mighty things in our lives. We are looking forward to a beautiful year where we'll have abundance in our minds. We'll have healthy minds in our bodies, healthy bodies. We'll have healthy bank accounts and all that God has planned and destined for us. Thank you so much for joining us on this morning, and we'll be right back after we hear from our sponsors.
Are you passionate about music and eager to showcase your talent? Join us every first Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Jefferson Street Sound Museum, where we're reviving the vibrant musical legacy of historic Jefferson Street with our open mic nights. Whether you're a solo artist or part of a band, this is your chance to shine in a community that celebrates creativity and diversity. Start your month on a high note, bring your music, and let Jefferson Street Sound Museum echo with the sounds of inspiration once more. Start your month off right. Be part of bringing the soul back to historic Jefferson Street. Come perform, listen, and let the music flow. Are you tired of fad diets and one-size-fits-all fitness programs that don't deliver results? Fitness Nation USA's Bodied by Jen and Jen and Juice offer a comprehensive wellness solution tailored to your unique needs. From personalized one-on-one coaching to energizing group classes, custom meal plans, and all-natural cold-pressed juices, we've got everything you need to transform your body and life. Our expert-led programs and products have already helped thousands achieve their health goals. Ready to join the fitness revolution? Visit jenandjuice.net today and take the first step towards a healthier, happier you.
Good morning. We have this morning with us Miss Linda Lamb. She's the director of Brightside Consulting Services, LLC. She provides parenting classes and life coaching opportunities for parents. She holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in social work from Tennessee State University, a master's degree in human development counseling from Vanderbilt University of Tennessee, a certified coach through the Upgrading Life seminars and training, certified in Parenting God's Way from the Family of Nurturing Center of Georgia, a certified mediator of conflict management. She is also the author of Empowering to Change, a parenting handbook. Ms. Lamb is the original founder of Life Stars Project, Inc., and nonprofit organization that has founded in 1989 to assist youth and their families in achieving life goals. Ms. Lamb was honored as a recipient of the Unsung Shero Award by Concerned Black Clergy and given a Community Service Award from Delta chapter of Iota Lambda Sorority Incorporated. Linda Lamb is a beacon of hope and guidance for families navigating the complexities of parenting and life changes. Thank you so much for being with me on this morning, Ms. Lamb.
Yes, and thank you for having me. I am honored for this opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you again for joining us. We know that you have a lot to share with us on this morning, and we're so thankful for the work that you have done and the work that you continue to do. And so with that, I was just wondering, this is normally a question I have for all of my guests. Could you share how your life's journey has brought you to doing the work that you are doing? What was the impetus? What was some things that may have transpired in your life that has brought you in this wonderful place of serving parents?
What brought me to this is I was a court service worker in Atlanta, Georgia. I was in and out of Judge Hatchett's courtroom. I was in and out of families' homes. I was in and out of detention centers. I was placing children in drug programs, group homes. Whatever their needs were, then I was able to find resources. What happened was I got sick and tired of losing our children in that system. Even over 29 years ago, we had children as young as 10 years old who were being detained. And children as young as 13 years old, if they found guilty of any of the 7 deadly sins in Georgia as well as your state, they would be tried as an adult as young as 13. They would go from detention center to prison. Having done that, I am on a mission to keep as many children out of that system. It doesn't matter whether you have money or not. I want to keep every child out of that. And I decided that one way to do that for me is to work with parents. Because I know as they get better, their children will be better. I want to share my 30 years of experience, my knowledge, my solutions to help parents who are having challenges. I want them to, when you see it, let's deal with it and not wait. That is my passion, that is my mission. I want to work with as many families and parents, caregivers as possible to share and assist in having the most successful children ever. That's what I do, and I'm looking forward to help as many parents as I can.
Well, we're certainly so grateful for the work that you are doing. It's a really large work. I'm thankful for your heart, for your spirit, and for your tenacity. It takes a lot of courage to do the work that you are doing and that so desperately needs to be done. And so you talked about the deadly sins that children are committing, which when we think about that, sometimes we are just flabbergasted by the fact that the challenges, the things that children have done oftentimes that you wouldn't even think that their minds could conceive those things. And as you stated, it's important that we assist the parents in helping to get the children out of the circumstances and situations that they oftentimes have gotten themselves in. But not only them, but I think about societal things that oftentimes are driving forces, how sometimes communities are set up to create a type of environment where children have access to criminal activity. Again, I thank God for you. It's always important that there are women, that there are men that are crying loud and they're sparing not as it relates to our children. So can you share some of the ways in which you assist the parents and address the parents? Because oftentimes when children are having challenges, sometimes the parents don't want anyone to come in to intervene. So can you share what that looks like for you?
What it looks like for me and what I'm encouraging parents to do is to get away from that saying that anything that goes on here stays here. Because a lot of times we need help. And I'm encouraging parents to reach out for that help. Because it doesn't get better, it gets worse. Particularly when you see your child has an anger problem. It doesn't get better. And it's okay to ask for help, ask for support. Reach out, because it could be somebody in your neighborhood, somebody in your church. There's various resources out there that can help. So that's what I want to encourage parents to do. Reach out for that help. Because I've been inside of homes, I've been inside of detention centers. And what I've seen too, a lot of times we just don't know some of the things that we say and some of the things that we do that may have a damaging effect on your child. Just to give you one example, I was in this lady's home one time, and her son was about 8 years old. And he came in from the outside, and he said, "Mama." And she responded like, "What?" In a way that I felt his pain. And I could look at him and I could see him begin to regret. So while I was there, I was able to share with her what she said and how she said it. And he was immediately said, I didn't mean it like that, son. I'm sorry. And he said things that was much more nice and pleasing. And you could see him begin to laugh, smile rather. So I said that to say this. Sometimes it's the least little thing that you say that you don't even realize that could have a damaging effect on your child. And I shared that with another person. And she said, "My mother did that to me." And I was grown before I actually told her what had happened. So I say that to say that sometimes you may wonder why your child may not talk to you. That could be one of the reasons why. Because some of the things that we've said and we didn't realize what that could have done to your child. So I do a thing on communication. I do 12 steps of effective communication is one of the classes that I do. And I talk about 12 of those that you may not even think about. So I share with you one of those things. And I encourage you, there will be a class coming up sometimes in February. And I would encourage you to take those classes that I will be giving. And another class will be on love is. Respect, anger, tips on raising boys to men, dealing with teenagers. Who are you? So those are a few of them. I would encourage you to join me in those classes. They will be empowering, and each one of them you will learn something that you didn't think of. Simple, interactive, and you will see some changes not only in yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that information. How would people get in contact with you if they're interested in taking your classes? Parents that are looking for a space where that they can share, where they can be authentic, where they can come without judgment, and you can assist them to walk alongside of them and their children. How could they contact you?
Okay, they can contact me through my phone number, 404-820-4618. Again, that number is 404-820-4618. They can also contact me through my email address. That is lamb, LFL@gmail.com. I think they're just going to put it on the screen so you can actually see that.
Yes.
And also my website information.
Thank you so much. You said something when you were sharing about the challenges that the youth have. What we see oftentimes is anger, a deep-seated level of anger. And one of the things that I ponder oftentimes is that why are children so angry? What has happened? What you talked about parental, how individuals rear their children, parental guidance. and you shared about how the parent hollered or yelled at the child. But I look at our children, I look at the different events that have happened even in schools, and the young people, youth have been involved in them. What do you think the reason that our children are dealing with this deep-seated level of anger?
What I do believe is that we don't know what our children are actually going through at home. We really don't know. And it could be that they would like to have more attention. They would like to see their parents more. They would like to feel that they are loved and that what they have to say is very important. So those are some of the things. And I know a lot of our parents, they're working 2 jobs just to maintain. Then you have children. I know it can be very difficult. But having to do all the things and take care of children, and we've always been told that once we have children, we kind of forget about ourselves. But in the process, I'm encouraging parents to not to lose themselves in this process and to take time out for themselves, because it's very important. Because if you get time out for yourself, then you would have over time more energy and less stressful to be able to do the things that you would like to do with your children. And also, again, reach out and let somebody help you. If you need the support, ask for it. And don't do this alone. It will be definitely less stressful on you, and you'll be surprised about resources that are out there that could assist you as well. So I encourage you to take time out for yourself.
Miss Lamb,
Fill your own cup first. Yes?
yes, I wanted to ask you, it's important too that we encourage parents to reach out, and that oftentimes when you're reaching out is when you find help. But what about the parents that are dealing with challenges with their children, but sometimes it's guilt, sometimes it's shame. It could be that no one really wants others to know what's going on inside of their homes. Yet they know that they need help, but they don't know what to do. Sometimes their back is just against the wall. How can you encourage, or what would you do to share, or what are some things that you could assist the parents in when they may feel, again, the shame, the guilt, not knowing what to do? Is there something in place that you have that you can assist the parents in reaching out? Or are there signs that you can look for when a parent, and sometimes they're obvious signs, right? Sometimes you can just see how children can be out of control, or you can see the path that they're taking. But then sometimes signs may be subtle. What do you do, or what can you do to assist the parents in that?
One of the things that I can do to assist parents is to make them feel comfortable and safe, and that I will be definitely with non-judgmental. To feel comfortable enough to talk about what it is that's really going on, not just with their children, but with themselves. Because they may have some trauma that they may not even be aware of that can cause them to do things that they probably would not have done. So just making them aware of who they are, what is really going on, how you feel. How can I help you to be a better you, version of yourself? What can you do different to be that person as well? So I want to help them focus on how they can be the best person that they can become as well. Because we do a thing on who are you? And take a look at that without your children, without your husband. Who are you? And a lot of us don't know who we are. So I want to help them with that as well and be okay with that. And give themselves permission to be okay with doing some things for yourself. And it is okay.
That is so powerful. And I consider, in some cases, maybe not all cases, but that could be the situation oftentimes why children are going in different problematic areas because parents are oftentimes still trying to figure it out themselves, as you said, don't really know who they are, but then have the responsibility of rearing their children. And I'm reminded of one of my professors, a renowned woman, Dr. Renita Weems. She wrote a book, Just a Sister Way. And I think in the beginning of the book, she stated that I realized that my mother needed a sister more than a daughter. And so oftentimes in parenting, we're not ready to be parents, right? That we need someone to love. We need someone to come alongside of us. But then sometimes you may find yourself with a child having to rear that child, have the responsibility to train that child in the way that they should go. You know, that's what the Bible says, that that's parents' responsibility. And then it says, and when they're older, they won't depart. And so even with that, I'm thinking that we need to encourage parents that have there are some parents that have done all that they know to do, and they still find themselves dealing with children that have been challenging, and that it's one situation after another. But we certainly believe that as it relates to the Bible, if you rear your child in the way that they should go, it says when they're older. It doesn't say how much older, but it says that they won't depart from the teachings. And so with that, you had, I think you had some training in a class called Leading God's Way, God's Way of Parenting. Can you share about that? And then we want to just really deconstruct really what that means according to how you see parenting should be.
One of the things, the way I see parenting for myself and basically who I am, everything that I do and say, I do with love. And that's basically how I operate, out of love. And that's what I teach, is how to do it with love. And once you do that with love, everything else changes around. And I teach that and how you do that. So that's what I do, and that's what I'm about. And 1 Corinthians 15:4 said, do everything in love. So what I do, I not only do everything I do in say, I do it in love. So that makes me maybe different from a lot of people, because a lot of people cannot do that. But that's what I do, that's who I am, and that's what I'm about.
Wow, that's awesome. I think about what would the world look like if we all did our work from that posture, the posture of love. The Bible says that tongues will cease, charity will cease, but the greatest of those things, well, charity will continue because that's love. The tongues, prophesying will cease, but love remains forever. And so if we do things in that posture through the lens of love, it would be such a much better world. And so that's just a totally different subject matter within itself. And so you have written a book. You're the author of a book, Empowering to Change. Can you share about your book?
In fact, I had one of the best compliments that I had. I was at a cousin's house for Thanksgiving, and she informed me, it was like the dessert on the cake while I was there, and she told me, your book helped me to raise my children. I said, for real? And it made me feel so good that she told me that. So with that being said, that's what the book will do. It has, like, even the topics that I talked about, those are in the book. They're very simple and it's very easy to read. There's exercise on each chapter. And you will get that. You will be taught, and if you just follow the things that I ask and share with you, you will see a difference. But it also starts with you. Who are you? I have kept on that. Who are you? So it talks about that. It talks about dealing with teenagers. It talks about raising boys to men. I'm getting ready to do it, and I did that 10 years ago. It's still relevant. I'm getting ready to do a part 2 of things that I want to add to it. And I'm going to add a chapter on trauma. And I talk about raising boys, things that men should do in terms of relationships and finding a woman. I mean, women. How did you treat a woman? But what I didn't do is talk about, which I will talk about, is how men should choose a woman. What you look for. So that will be adding in another. I'm doing a second book, and I'm not sure what I name it yet, but it'll be coming up soon. So I want you to get that book as well. I'm going to add to what I have already. So one of the things that should be.
We certainly look forward to your next edition. So if anyone wanted to purchase a copy, or how could they get a copy? Or is it on digital, or could you share how they could receive the book?
They can actually contact me if they would like to have a book, and I will have it sent to them. And it's on Amazon, but I know it's sold out, so I have to get some more in there. And the printing company that I had is I'm looking for a new printing company. But in the meantime, I do have some that can get that from me.
Awesome.
Call my phone number, and I'll make sure I send it to them.
Amen. Empowering to change. And so, could you share just a couple of steps of what you would say that a person needs to be empowered with in order to change? Because I guess the first step would be that an individual has to realize that there's a need to change, that there's some challenges that they're dealing with that will, if they were to change, it would help them to have more of a successful life. So could you share maybe a couple of steps?
Well, if a person really wants to change and become the best parent you can possibly become, then they could use that book and follow some of the tools that are given. It's wonderful. And they can just look at changing some things that may be different than the way you were raised. And being willing to want to do that. Particularly with the children of today, they're more like this. If you want respect, then you have to give it. So they're kind of looking at you and what you're doing, not what you're saying. So if you don't want them to do certain things, then I would encourage you not to do that in front of them. Because they're a new generation of children, and they're saying, if you can do it, I can do it. So if you're willing to give up some of that and look at what it is that you would like for them to do or become and do, and do that in front of them, what you would like for them to do and become. So that's what I would say to parents now, because like a new sheriff in town, when like trying to get us to go back to where we used to be in slavery, it's like it's new children. They're not. If you want them to do certain things, then you got to be doing it. That's how you see it.
You're absolutely correct about that. I think about the scriptures that says, "Fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath." And it's interesting that the text says fathers, and specifically the command is given to the fathers: don't provoke your children to wrath, don't provoke your children to anger. And so as you think about that, again, you talked about the anger, and this could be another topic for another day, but what has fathers done that have caused children to be angry? And oftentimes it's the fact of just not being there, not being present. There are times where the father may directly be in the home, but still not be emotionally present for the child. And so it's a large topic. It's a major responsibility that you, thank God for you, the work that you're doing, and others, and society as a whole, is something we have to address. Again, thank you so much for being with us. Do you have any final words for our audience on this morning?
The final word would be just to be encouraged and to know that we're here to assist, to help. And give us a call and allow us to be a part of making those changes. And we would love to help you, support you, assist you in your are the best parent that you can ever become and have successful children. Again, this is Linda Lamb, and I thank you for allowing me to be here today.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lamb, for children are heritage of the Lord. And we thank God for each and every child, for they were fearfully and wonderfully created in the very image of God. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again on next week. God bless you.
Thank you very much.